You know what? We're under a more moratorium here. Let's start sending out qualifying offers to free agents. Okay. Now, they would have to do that under the current CBA, in which the salaries hadn't been increased, this, that, and the other. But it could mean maybe that it would start getting people the idea of, what they want to do. They're trying to get players to start thinking about salaries. And that's smart because that's how this gets done.
Recent developments in WNBA collective bargaining negotiations have taken an interesting turn as Breanna Stewart, co-founder and co-owner of Unrivaled, has issued guidance to players regarding their contractual decisions. The situation presents an unusual dynamic where individuals who serve as vice presidents of one league's players' union simultaneously own a competing professional basketball organization. The WNBA and its ownership group made a calculated move by issuing qualifying offers to free agents despite ongoing negotiations. Under the existing collective bargaining agreement, these offers reflect current salary structures rather than proposed increases. This tactical decision appears designed to prompt players to consider financial realities and their individual career decisions. Public sentiment surrounding the negotiations has shifted noticeably.
That's how this gets done. Look, the court of public opinion has wildly shifted from it was about the players and they need more money, blah, 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 to now it's, okay, the owners have given you the money. The money's on the table. But you're taking all these personal shots. You're bringing up social reform in a collective bargaining agreement. We're seeing your ridiculous.
Initial support for player demands has gradually transformed into skepticism as tensions escalate. While substantial salary increases have been proposed by ownership, union tactics including inflatable rat displays and mobile billboard campaigns have drawn criticism for appearing unprofessional. These theatrical demonstrations have given some observers the impression of minor league tactics rather than major professional sports negotiations. A central tension remains largely unaddressed by players. The league has never generated profits throughout its entire existence. This widely acknowledged fact creates complications when evaluating compensation demands. Sports fans across various interests are aware of the league's financial history, which gained additional attention during the Brittany Griner international incident.
In a collective bargaining agreement, we're seeing your ridiculous inflatable rats and freaking a digital banner on the side of a truck, and it's starting to feel like low budget AA baseball shit out there by the players union. It's like, okay, come on, stop this nonsense. And it feels personal. And it's like they want revenge because they think they haven't made enough money all these years.
However, significant financial improvements are currently available. Proposed salary increases would raise minimum compensation from $250,000 to $1.2 million, representing a six-fold increase. By the conclusion of the proposed agreement, some players could see compensation rise nearly 9 times their current earnings. ESPN reporter Kendra Andrews and Alexa Filippo covered the WNBA Players Association's discussion of a moratorium proposal affecting upcoming league operations, including free agency, qualifying offers, and core player designations scheduled to begin imminently. Stewart emphasized that despite qualifying offers being distributed, players understand they should avoid signing contracts since any agreements would operate under existing CBA terms rather than the improved conditions currently being negotiated. This position seems logical, as presumably no players anticipated signing deals based on outdated salary structures.
These years, except how can the owners ever look at that when they've never turned a profit and take it seriously? I mean, it's like the one equation. Do you recognize none of the players ever bring up the fact that this league's never made a profit? None of them. And it's common knowledge. It's common. I mean, there's sports fans that don't give a rip about the WNBA that knows it's never made a profit. Why? Because it was.
The league's strategy appears focused on directing players' attention toward actual dollar amounts. By presenting concrete financial offers, ownership aims to shift focus toward tangible salary increases that have dominated player demands throughout negotiations. Substantial money is available. Approximately $2 million by the final year of the proposed agreement represents considerable compensation. The financial opportunity is immediate and substantial. For players currently earning $100,000 annually, seeing $500,000 available in year one of a new agreement represents 5 years of current salary.
Why? Because it's been a running joke forever. And then, of course, it also got a lot of publicity when Brittany Griner got locked up in Russia. Yeah, that was a thing. But nonetheless, now everybody knows there's real money on the table. All right? Just if you go from 250 to 1.2, that's a 6-time salary increase by the end of the newly offered CBA by the owner.
This isn't about incremental raises. It's transformational income that could enable home purchases and genuine financial stability rather than apartment rentals. These increases particularly impact mid-roster players rather than stars with extensive endorsement portfolios. Athletes like Caitlin Clark, A'ja Wilson, Angel Reese, and Sabrina Ionescu have additional revenue streams. The 6th through 11th players on rosters stand to benefit most dramatically from these raises. For them, the difference between current and proposed compensation could fundamentally alter their financial trajectories.
Offered CBA by the owners. It's almost a 9-time salary increase for the players. As always, guys, make sure you hit subscribe. Make sure you resubscribe. I brought that up in my video last night. 300, almost 400 new subs. And a lot of them were YouTube unsubscribed me, and I didn't know it. What? Oh, my goodness. I can't believe I have to keep bringing this up. This is wild.
Speculation has emerged about potential replacement player scenarios if negotiations stall. While current contracts may prevent such actions, the concept warrants consideration given the league's roster composition. Much of the WNBA's current star power consists of players on rookie contracts. Consider the talent available on entry-level deals. Rickea Jackson, Camila Cardoso, Paige Bueckers, Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, and Aaliyah Boston represent just a sampling. While these players vary in impact and marketability, their collective presence on rookie contracts is notable.
To keep bringing this up. This is wild. Kendra Andrews come out, and she's over at ESPN, and there's Alexa Philippou talking about the WNBA-PA discussing a moratorium proposal that would apply to an upcoming league business, including free agency qualifying offers and core designations, which were set to begin as early as Sunday. Breanna Stewart said that while a qualifying offers may be going out, there's an understanding from all players that no one should.
Clark's influence on ratings and viewership is well documented and exists in its own category. Hypothetically, fielding these rookie contract players alongside replacement veterans might produce viewership numbers comparable to current levels. Matchups featuring Clark against Bueckers or Clark versus Cardoso would still attract audiences. Angel Reese's injury situation notwithstanding, the core attractions would remain intact. Veteran players beyond their prime years appear to be complicating negotiations disproportionately.
Be going out, there's an understanding from all players that no one should sign anything because any contract signed would fall under the current CBA numbers. I think everybody understands that. Not the ones they are fighting for in the current negotiations. Nobody thought that they were going to sign deals based on the current CBA. At least I can't imagine anybody thought that. But there's got to be a way out. What the league is trying to do right here is to get these players.
Their leverage may be overstated given the league's current star distribution. The league's decision to issue qualifying offers represents shrewd maneuvering. While players are unlikely to accept these offers immediately, the tactic successfully redirects attention toward compensation and individual career planning. Suggestions that a 3-week off-season would generate excitement seem questionable. The league requires maximum preparation time given ongoing operational challenges.
And even without a lockout and/or strike as of yet, this is damaging the league. This is fans are exhausted with it. Fans are exhausted with the players' union and how they're approaching this and how they're acting. some real low rent kind of things out there being said, put on paper, made a little more personal than it really needs to be.
Broadcast quality remains inconsistent across franchises. Games involving certain teams sometimes resemble low-level minor league productions in terms of technical execution. The organization needs every available moment to address these professional standards and operational improvements. The financial proposals on the table represent legitimate opportunities for substantial life changes, particularly for role players without supplemental income sources. How long players will decline these offers while negotiations continue remains uncertain.
Now, there was an idea of a moratorium out there that would pause everything, right? During the until there's a CBA in place, if there is one, and that moratorium has now been agreed upon. The WNBA and WNBPA have reached an agreement on a moratorium for league business. Sources tell ESPN. Ramona Shelburne, who is a NBA insider, this is necessary because the sides have
This positive momentum now faces jeopardy as negotiations stall. Fans express exhaustion with the situation, particularly regarding the union's approach and communication style. Some statements from union representatives have adopted unnecessarily personal tones, elevating tensions beyond professional disagreement. Both parties have now agreed to implement a moratorium suspending league business operations. ESPN's Ramona Shelburne, an NBA insider, reported that this step became necessary after sides failed to finalize either a new CBA or extension by the January 9th deadline.
NBA insider. This is necessary because the sides have failed to reach an agreement on a new CBA or extension by the January 9th deadline. This just broke. It didn't make sense for teams to be offering qualifying offers, core designations, or courting free agents until there was a new CBA. Again, just like I talked about yesterday, I still think the idea of the WNBA teams sending qualifying offers out there was a good idea.
Because the moratorium prevents teams from extending qualifying offers, issuing core designations, or pursuing free agents until a new collective bargaining agreement exists. Arguments supporting the league's earlier proposal to send qualifying offers despite CBA absence centered on shifting player focus toward immediate financial considerations rather than abstract revenue-sharing concepts. Current revenue-sharing demands face characterization as unrealistic expectations that could potentially terminate the league entirely. Questions arise about who advises players on business matters, as following such guidance might destroy the very enterprise providing their employment. Front Office Sports reported that the union objected to language in the league's initial moratorium proposal, believing it contained provisions beyond simply delaying free agency.
Because you need to start having the players think more about their money, all right, and less about a revenue. One of the issues they've got right now with the revenue sharing is it's a pipe dream. It's a pipe dream. And they could very well end the league over a pipe dream, something that was never realistic. And whoever is advising these players of the business side, the players are listening to them. And
the Players Association submitted counter-proposals, removing certain language, demonstrating difficulty reaching consensus even on procedural matters. This pattern suggests deep-seated disagreements extending beyond major CBA provisions into basic operational agreements. The union required modifications to the moratorium terms before accepting, reflecting sensitivity to proposal wording and potential implications. Negotiations have reached a point where progress occurs at minimal speed, with each step requiring extensive back-and-forth communication. Last week, the WNBA instructed team front offices to begin sending qualifying offers and core designations under the expired agreement framework.
The players are listening to them, and they're going to kill this business. Right here, this was Front Office Sports just a little while before this. The union felt the league's proposal contained unnecessary language beyond simply delaying free agency, according to a source familiar with the negotiations. It looked to remove language in its counter-proposal. I mean, everything that's being done now, they cannot make it.
This directive generated confusion and frustration across the league. Multiple sources indicated such offers would prove meaningless since players would avoid signing them while salary system overhauls remain under negotiation. However, the league's strategy may not have focused on securing immediate signatures. Instead, presenting concrete financial figures aimed to redirect player attention toward tangible compensation rather than theoretical revenue percentages. This approach, attributed to strategic thinking from league leadership, sought to influence negotiation dynamics by emphasizing actual monetary value available under current or slightly modified frameworks.
Everything that's being done now, they cannot make an agreement on, it seems like. They came to this moratorium agreement, but once again, the Players Association had to make some kind of change in there. Let's be honest, they're getting butthurt in everything that's being done. And the last thing they need is to bring this thing to a snail's pace. And that's where we're at. On Monday afternoon, the WNBA PA received a response from the league. Last week,
Lexi Brown and Kalia Copper represent the only players not on rookie contracts currently signed through 2026. WNBPA Vice President Brianna Stewart, speaking at Unrivaled events, addressed the qualifying offer situation, noting that offers might be distributed according to existing agreement language. She emphasized union messaging, encouraging members to avoid signing anything that would lock them into specific numbers, urging collective patience during this holding pattern. Stewart's comments at Unrivaled, a competing professional league, raised questions about appropriate venues for discussing WNBA labor matters. Making statements about official WNBA business while representing another basketball organization presents professional complications and potentially conflicting interests.
From the league. Last week, the WNBA contacted every team's front office to advise them that they can begin sending out qualifying offers and core designations under the expired agreement. The reaction from sources across the league was one of confusion and frustration. Multiple league sources told Front Office Sports that offers would be meaningless as players would sign them with an overhaul to the salary system being negotiated. It was never about getting them to sign it.
Under typical circumstances, WNBA general managers would have until January 20th to send qualifying offers and core designations. Teams are not expected to proceed with offers while moratorium discussions continue, though formal agreement has now been reached. This represents the first deadline pushing back official league business from the timeline established in the current CBA. The league also faces delays conducting the expansion draft required for Toronto Tempo and Portland Fire franchises. Unlike free agency deadlines, expansion draft dates lack specification in the legally binding CBA, creating additional scheduling complications.
It was never about getting them to sign it. It never was. It was never going to be until there was a CBA. They just wanted Adam Silver. It was a wise move. Kathy Engelbert, it was a wise move. The WNBA owners, it was a wise move. Put the money into the minds of the players. Lexi Brown, Kalani Brown are the only players not on rookie contracts signed through 2026. Quote, they might be